Heard Northwestern State head coach Chris Bertrand, last scheduled midweek game of this year. Still one in the balance, could be played, but Tuesday night at LSU, we know that's going to happen, 6:30. Demons heading down there after a weekend of learning lessons again at Lamar. And Coach, as you head to Baton Rouge, what do you take from that weekend against Lamar?
I think what you take is, again, that learning of what winning baseball looks like in all of the elements and all of the phases of the game, and how it is we can approach getting those winning elements on our side more consistently, and how we can use that information to help us play a more complementary brand of baseball, and how much we can learn, again, for what looks like coming off of Lamar. What does 30-something wins and success at a very high level and first place in our league look like? And so learning from ourselves and from our opponents, and then taking that into a week of preparation where, again, it's going to be LSU tomorrow night, and we understand what a challenge that is, and then New Orleans this weekend, in a way that those games have a lot on the line, and it's going to be, again, an extremely quality ball club, one that's going to provide some challenges. And so I think what it is the learning from week to week to week of what winning baseball, complementary baseball, and what elements of it we have to do a little bit better, which are a lot of the things that we've been talking about for the entirety of the season. But now you're doing it in those money ball games, right? Those games that mean a lot as we close the season and finish conference standings, and games that have a lot on the line for what the future could look like. And again, games against unbelievable opponents in where you look at, playing Lamar and then LSU and then UNO, man. So I think we are continuously learning, and I'm proud of our guys for that fact, regardless of the results.
An early May trip to LSU is not out of the ordinary. It's kind of been this way for better part of a decade to 12, 13 years. It seems like Northwestern goes to Baton Rouge late in the year. Difference this year is you've been to Baton Rouge. You now have, again, a team that wasn't here last year but has been to Baton Rouge. They've played at Alex Box Stadium, not with the crowd, but they've played there, so they've got a little familiarity. So it brings a little different preparation. You don't necessarily have to show these guys who've only seen it on TV what it's like. They know what it's like.
Absolutely. And so, again, when we talk about every time we visit and every time we talk about our ball club and we use the word learning, I hope that our guys see that's one of the reasons why we did it, right? What can we learn from those 4 games inside of Alex Box? What does a pregame look like? What is the visual of that stadium? What is the infield, right? One of the few games on the schedule that we're going to play on an all-natural surface. And so what does it look like in the way of ground balls? And what does a fly ball in that environment look like in a stadium that size? And so all of these other things, man. And so, again, we can say that's why we did it, and we're going to take some things from it. And so it's in line with the message to the team, and it's in line with the message of how we're trying to build our baseball program. And so there's plenty of things that we can take from it, albeit now, obviously, the opponent, and as you mentioned, maybe a more electric environment or a louder environment, whatever word we choose to use, and an unbelievably coached and an unbelievably talented team. And so now we take the lessons learned mixed with the challenge that we know is in front of us. And tomorrow night can be a wonderful thing for our baseball team in all of those areas if we approach it the right way. And I'm hoping that the 4 games early in the season help us with the mental approach to tomorrow night's ball game.
And again, similar to that, not only have they been there, but a lot of those guys that may see action in a midweek game as opposed to a weekend did see action back there in February. So, again, not new for them.
No, not at all. And so, like, what we've tried to explain to our guys as we've gone through the tail end of it is not only the lessons learned from game to game and day to day, but also with an eye on why we're learning those lessons. We never want to look ahead, and we're not going to look ahead of tomorrow night or this weekend or anything else. But if we're fortunate enough when all of the dust settles to be one of the teams that are in the Southland Conference Tournament in Hammond at the end of the year, what is going to be required for us to reach that goal, if we say that that's one of our goals? That requires unbelievable games against unbelievable opponents where you've got to win 4 games in a row in 4 days or whatever. And so we're stacking all of those lessons. And so whether it be guys in and out of the lineup, whether it be us rotating designated hitters in order to find good matchups, whether we're rotating the right fielder, in which we continue to do, and how we're going to catch guys and whatever, all of these elements in all of our experimentations and learning are going to pay dividends at the end of the year if we continue to listen, learn, approach it the right way, and then take those lessons with us moving forward. And so tomorrow night is an unbelievable example of all of those things that we're gonna put our fist up and we're gonna fight, and we're gonna give them our best effort. And at the end of the night, regardless of the result, how can it make us better for Wednesday's practice and Thursday's practice and this weekend's games? And how can all of this help us in 2 weeks if we're fortunate enough to be there?
Coach, as always, thanks for your time.
Farcombe Demons.